Hi guys, welcome back to Daily Astrology. Today I'm going to be doing this video for the transit of Saturn, and in the transit Saturn is getting in the retrograde motion from July 13th onwards. Now I promised in the monthly reading for the month of July that I will be recording the transit video for Saturn's retrograde because it's a crucial one, and I want to share some perspective with you guys as to how it can be impacting us. Now Saturn, of course, is considered to be a malefic, and thereby when a planet which is retrograded, which is considered to have a very high Cheshtabal, a part that is seen in the Shadbala. Many of you who come to my readings, I share the Shadbala scores as well for each of the planets with you guys. And there you would have noticed that it is a component, it's a part. And depending on the Shadbala score of a planet in your chart, you are able to realize that what sort of an impact, positive or negative, auspicious or inauspicious, can be seen in your life. And thereby, in general considerations, Saturn, which is considered to be a malefic, when he gets retrograded, usually because of that Cheshtabal being high, because now the Shadbala overall being higher than normal, the ability of this malefic planet to deliver results is increased. Now, whether or not Saturn's impact in your chart through the transits retrograde will be positive or negative will highly be dependent on the score, on the strength, on the dignity of Saturn in your natal chart. Now, again, I cannot be giving you general indications on that front. Very crudely speaking, somebody might say that an exalted Saturn in most of the charts or in the charts where it is a Yoga Karaka planet like that for Libra is usually delivering good results. But I have noticed that people with exalted Saturn in Libra or in other zodiacs as well, they tend to struggle with their lives, even in their Saturn Dasha Antardashas in Sadesatis. Now, why is that? Because you've got to understand that what is the dignity? Is it direct? Is it retrograde? What is the Shadbala of your planet? How is it positioned? What house, what placement? And based on that, within the particular sign, what kind of points he is getting within Pisces, for example, if he is transiting right now, what sort of points he is getting. And thereby you will be able to derive a much more comprehensive understanding. However, since it is my fiduciary responsibility to share a generalized perspective which can have an overarching effect, I will be talking during the course of this video to give you a sense that what you should anticipate. But the accurate measure of it will come through if you are able to analyze your natal version as well. I hope, folks, you get a perspective of what I'm trying to say here. And now we should just deep dive to see what sort of a impact you will see with this transit, folks. Now, Sagittarius, what a remarkable period it is for you. Like almost so many planets aspecting into your sign itself, into your lagna, into your ascendant or Rashi, if you're watching this from a Sagittarius moon sign perspective. And now your second and your third lord, which is Saturn, getting retrograded in your fourth house. We've done a detailed video about Saturn's transit into the sign of Pisces earlier in the year, but this retrograde becomes extremely crucial because he is going to impact your ascendant sign itself, your Rashi sign itself, if you're watching from a moon sign perspective. So when your second lord is placed in the fourth house, like we've said before, this is time where you tend to put efforts for your family, with your family. You find peace in terms of being around you when he is in that position. There's an additional amount of energy. New hobbies could be rewarding, or your own purushartha, your courage, your hard work could be rewarding in terms of your gains, in terms of your savings, in terms of your money, your wealth creation, your growth. And there's also the time when I said that Saturn's placement into the fourth house is going to give you an opportunity to build something, to expand on your knowledge, on your uh, property, movable and movable assets. Many of you could be moving towards in that direction. But now this retrogression is going to bring certain changes as well. to all of those bits. It's your lord of hard work. It's your lord of hobbies, neighborhood, your siblings, which is placed in your fourth, but getting retrograded because the cheshta bal of this Saturn is going to be higher. And this is going to be a time of relearning, reskilling yourself as the first and the foremost call out that I want to give. Why? Because in retrograde motion, somewhere or the other, Saturn will chase that Rahu sitting in your sign of Aquarius in your third house. That Rahu's position is bringing so much of confidence, self expression, self belief. People who are associated in mass communication, journalism, social media, broadcasting, YouTube, Instagram kind of mechanisms in sectors associated to communication, you are going to find that this is going to be a period to reskill yourself, especially around technologies, around AI. What is the point of me being educated and not being able to connect the modern shift? See, at a mundane level, folks, that Saturn's movement towards Rahu is going to balloon up. It's going to expand that AI bit. Some great revolution, revelation is going to come in the next few months in this area. But you individually, as Sagittarius, will also have to find that trigger, that pivot in terms of your knowledge, in terms of your skills, in terms of your learning, because the connection is now between the fourth and the third. You have to understand that bit. Whatever you are doing, whatever sphere of life you are coming from, either your hobbies or your work, your career, because it's in the fourth and access to folks. Please understand why. And the Saturn's aspect is into the sixth house for employees, for job oriented people, for startup oriented people, for students as well. Irrespective of your sphere of life, you have to understand that pivot, that shift is coming in terms of reskilling. You will have to do something. You will have to put your purusharth, your efforts, your bahubala, your courage, your self-belief in terms of learning what Rahu is going to pivot. Because Saturn is the karka of profession, career, efforts in everybody's chart. That is his attribute. That is his parameter. That is his personality. And in your case especially, he is ruling the third house of efforts. So your efforts will have to go in that direction. That is the first and the foremost thing. And you will realize that learning will require investment from your side. It could be in terms of time, it could be in terms of effort, it could be in terms of earning energy, or it could be actually carving out, the opportunity cost, letting go of something that you've been doing so that you find the space, the time, the to build that momentum in you. And Saturn is going to demand you to do that. It's going to be everybody. This is a common theme I'm going to be calling out for everyone, folks. So that's the first thing that you have to keep in mind. This is going to be a period where there will be some general lack of mental peace for you. Saturn is sitting in the fourth house and getting retrograded there. There will be a general lack of mental peace because you will very soon realize that I need to do something different. I need to repivot myself, reposition myself, either in my job or in my karma or myself, because that aspect of Saturn comes to your Lagna. Good bit is that he is getting aspects of other planets too, like Mars is going to control him. Jupiter at some point in time from October onwards will be giving an aspect. So there will, which is your Lagna Lord. So it is going to be crucial. But this aspect of Saturn into the Lagna in a retrograded mode is going to demand that you put some efforts because it is going to the first and towards the 12th. It will be a moving aspect that you will find. There will be general slowness that you could observe. Whatever are your plans, whatever, even whilst you are learning new things, absorbing new things, the amount of effort, the tenacity, that is the beauty of this transit for you guys, that the amount of effort, self-belief that you are going to bring, it is going to be worth a watch. Any Sagittarius around you, watch these guys. They are going to play at a different level. But the challenge is that whatever knowledge you are trying to gain, say, because fourth house denotes knowledge, it denotes peace of mind, it denotes your assets. If you are putting efforts in terms of expanding on your assets, you had started some project, building on something, especially related to real estate, construction of some sorts, any kind of project that you had started at your home, learning something new, they will be slowed. In a way, you will be required to put more fuel to generate same amount of fire. That analogy makes sense. So the mileage will reduce, but fear not. You are pulling heavier load right now. That is what the Saturn is going to do. It is going you allow that you are going to get to a similar stretch with additional amount of effort, but with additional amount of load. And you will see the reaping of those rewards will come at a future point in time. But that is going to be a very good impact coming out of the fourth house. But fourth house also denotes your mother. And this is where I would want you to draw some caution. Please take care of the health of your mother during this point in time. Unnecessary argumentative situations should be avoided, especially with your family members, not just with your mother, but in the longer deal, because he owns your second house of speech, even from a formal communication perspective. You will have to be careful as to how you are articulating your thought process, your emotions, because there will be so much pressure on you. There is going to be so much um, realization of responsibilities that you are having at this point in time, Sagittarius, that you will expect your family members, you will expect people around you in your formal setup as well, that they need to understand what you're saying. They will expect you to be in that same level, in the same bandwidth, at the same frequency. But that is not going to be the case. So you will have to be watchful with how you are articulating your self expression, because that could create unwanted situations, especially within the family. Then the aspect of, before I go into the aspects, retrograded motion in the fourth house towards the third is also going to mean that this is going to bring in opportunities for you if you are especially related in professions to third house, people who are in social media, people who are in mass communication, any kind of formal communications, you are going to find better opportunities to do your work. You can leverage communication in general to exceed the expectations of yourself own, forget the people around you. Then this is also going to be a period where you will leave no stone unturned with respect to any kind of community services, some sort of social activities, some sort of philanthropic activities, some sort of spiritual or religious undertone will be there towards how you put in your efforts. I think a part of it, and you can see this in a form of a remedy as well, a part of your effort should go on to support people. And I will expand on this bit when I touch upon the aspects as well, but anticipate that being happening. There will be some certain areas where you might have to support your siblings, you might have to support your neighbors in some kind of an event, some kind of a spiritual activity for that matter, or it could be just a ceremony around your neighborhood or within your siblings where they might need your physical support, not just monetary, but or maybe both. So you will have to extend your support in those areas too. But there will be a magnification. There will be some level of shrewdness, street smartness, smart work that will also be enabled in your life. You will know how to leverage your time and energy in that direction. Now, when we talk about the aspects of Saturn, he is giving a retrograded aspect to your sixth house as well, which is your house of loans, litigations, job, day-to-day regimen, your schedule, your any kind of obstacles that you are facing, your health. And I would want you to be cautious, careful about these areas. This is going to be a period, Sagittarius, I was saying Jupiter, you guys are as knowledgeable. You must be careful about your own health. You must follow good food, diet, and good regimen on a day-to-day basis. Figure out some time, exercise. Because the connection is happening for this Saturn to your sixth house as well as your Lagna, as well as to your first house into the sign of Sagittarius and a retrograded one. So try and make, when I was talking about doing some kind of public activity, some kind of a philanthropic activity, community based service, it is going to be a remedy because these two aspects of Saturn are going to bring the risk of some kind of medical expenses, unwanted expenses coming your way. And if you proactively do some kind of community service, if you proactively do some kind of charity, you are like countering the risks coming onto you. You might be pushed to do some unexpected support, say to your peers and colleagues at your workplace. It will be a good activity. Don't shy away from that. You might have to go over and above your job description. You might have to go over and above your own tasks. But that support at this point in time will be positive for you, because if you don't, you will be seen in a negative way somehow or the other, irrespective of whether you are finishing your task on your plate or not. So it's kind of negative. That is the kind of stress you might anticipate coming your way. That is the kind of botheration that you never wanted, but it comes on top of your head, but you will have to live with it, my friends. It is going to form, it still forms a Shatru Anta Yoga. In fact, this retrograded aspect of Saturn is much more powerful. But the third aspect into the sixth is not the greatest one. We've lived through it for a long time, the Scorpios. So you will have to understand that this is going to be a period where charitable activity, even at work, might be required. Avoid taking a crazy amount of loans, crazy amount of exposure to any kind of investments is not a great thing to do. But strategic planning, well researched investments, etc., will pan out decent for you. Again, not speculative activities. Strategic plan, again, because the connection of 6 and the Lagna with Saturn in the 5th and the 12th perspective is coming into play. So plan around it. If you've been thinking about something for a long duration, maybe a real estate project, maybe some kind of an upkeep at your property, maybe you are undergoing some kind of improvement projects. There could be an increase in costs within those projects itself. That is also a possibility. Don't get worried. It is unavoidable, at least during the retrograde duration. Now, I also mentioned something related to additional amount of work required at your workplace. Connect the dots with your bosses and superiors as well. Saturn's aspect is towards the 10th, a retrograded aspect. They will acknowledge the support that you extend, but immediate rewards might not be coming to your plate. So be ready. This is going to be a period where you will be required to, support your superiors, your bosses, if you are in a job front, along with your colleagues. You will have some additional work on your table. The third is getting activated because of the retrogression. So you understand that bit, right? And all of it is teamed down together. And forget you are in a job. Whether you are in a job, you are running your own business, you are a homemaker, you are a student watching this video, you are a retired person, somewhere or the other, that busyness is going to increase in your life. Unexpected ways you are going to get work which will keep you occupied. And there might not be any monetary reward towards it. But at least you are going to build an ecosystem. It's like you will be adding your karma towards your dharma. Your effort is going to count against the punya that you are going to gain. So keep that positive frame of mind in your head, because eventually it is going to reward you. You might have to wait for those rewards. Delays are bound to happen. Additional delays in terms of what you are expecting are bound to happen. But wherever they will materialize at a similar scale too. So that's the beauty. So this retrogression is just telling you that, now at your workplace, you have to put your heads down and focus harder. You have to do more with respect to your karma. Your family might need you deeper if you're a homemaker, and you'll have to support them. And the society might not be able to acknowledge that immediately, because see, Saturn sitting in the 4th, that too in retrogression, it's not one of the most stable positions. Like Saturn doesn't do well, but the fact that he is getting towards the 3rd, it brings that appetite, that hunger, that courage within you to tackle all these problems. And problems will be of similar size. When Saturn is becoming retrograded, he's giving you that strength. It is going to be of that size. Quality of those outcomes will be highly dependent on the dignity of Saturn in your natal chart. Guys, I cannot emphasize enough. I had mentioned this at the start of the video as well. You will have to look into the Shadbala score, because the Cheshta Bal of the Saturn in transit is high. But what sort of a dignity it is in and how it can impact you, that can only come with the analysis of your natal chart. So you will have to get some sense of it from that perspective too. Then this is going to be a period where some sort of obstacles, challenges, delays, or health related issues could come to your father as well. I had emphasized this thing for the Capricorn guys too. So both from your mother and father perspective, I think mother's health is more challenging than father in this case. But given that, guys, if you are watching this from a Sagittarius moon perspective, you are in Saturn Dahya. So I would want you to be careful for both your parents' health and your emotional health too, or your emotional health too. I should say, not and. Okay. Some of these areas can get impacted. Then coming back to the third aspect of Saturn, which is into your first house, into the sign of Sagittarius, there is going to be a drain that you will see, some sort of a additional amount of effort, some sort of an investment that you might have to do either to gain knowledge or to gain success in your career, in your work, or in terms of your wealth itself. It will require you to put in that investment. That investment can be your hard work. That investment can be money. That investment can be your knowledge. That investment can be physical labor for that matter, or emotional investment too. So be prepared to do that. I hope you have enjoyed watching this video. If you have, then please smash on that like button, subscribe to Dev Astrology, and keep watching. Om Namah Shivaya. Har Har Mahadev.